tuned in to Athletics LLC with Lamar, Lucious, Big League Chew, and my man Clyde. You're about to be schooled in all things track and field. This is experience.
Yes, sir.
We are talking past, present, future. Y'all listen up. Let's go.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy 2021. Yay! We made the turnover. Everyone's still here. Is it just me, or after 2000, every year it's New Year's, I'm like, are we here? Like, after everything was supposed to blow up after the millennium went over, I was like, are we still here? Anyhow. Athletics LLC 2021. I know. Well, we're still here. We're still recording. We're still doing the dang thing. So if you're new to the game, I don't know what you've been doing, but let me introduce these three fine gentlemen with me on the screen. We've got Clyde tonight.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Is that a tie for Clyde, sir? I
It
haven't
is.
asked that question in a while.
Still rolling, still going strong.
Love it.
Nice purple ensemble here.
Love it.
Love the purple. Gotta love the purple.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Lamar, secure the bag, Huffins.
What's going on, people? Happy New Year.
And last but not least, we have Sir Lucious.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Welcome, gentlemen.
Was he knighted?
He was.
He's Sir Lucious now? Okay.
Yes.
Congratulations.
We all got to start somewhere, right?
How was the queen?
So, anyhow, per usual, we will jump into some questions and ignore that guy over there.
I mean, that's what y'all do.
Lord.
So, we are going to jump right into the lovely waters and talk about championship teams, since we're in a championship season coming up here, or right now, next week. What are some common elements of championship teams? What are we seeing in similar traits throughout?
Are we talking about all sports, or are we talking track and field, or?
We're talking track and field right now.
Okay.
Oh, we're definitely deferring to the man with the most rings on the panel. I mean,
right?
I was going to say, how's he staying quiet right now?
Right?
Oh, wow. Okay. So I think that, for me, the biggest common denominator in a championship team is what I call we people. The athletes that are willing to go to the line, to the circle, to whatever for their team. The athletes that are willing to put in the work to do the doubles. And the we guys that understand that, your 1 or 2 points may be the difference in the competition. The me, I guy or me, I girl doesn't work. The championship teams that I've been a part of myself here and I've watched other people put together, where the coaches coach to their strengths, they recruit to their strengths, and they get their athletes ready to perform at a high level at the championship situation. I think that too many times people get excited because somebody ran fast in January. Doesn't matter. Outdoors, we're going to run really fast in March or early April. Doesn't matter. The common thing that I see is a great plan. The great athletes that are we people, that are willing to go to the mat for their teammates, and the coaches that coach to their strengths. Those are things that I think are, and obviously a team that knows how to compete. I think that's helpful as well. So.
You want to go?
No, go
ahead. I've been part of a few championships. Clearly not as many as Sir Lucious, but I think that from the perspective with which he took it, I don't think you could say it any better. But what I would definitely add to that, which I knew that he wasn't going to, is for the most part, championship teams have championship coaching staffs. And I completely get why, Lucious and all of his soft selling of himself, why he would never say that. But at the end of the day, If you want to get the ship moving off the beach in the right direction and towards the gold, you probably need to have a good captain, and you probably need to have some ship's mates that have a clue and will follow the direction of the captain. Most championships happen on purpose. They are not accidents. The coaching staff puts together a plan, and they recruit to that plan. And when they get those recruits on campus, they remind them of the plan and pursue the execution of said plan. And that for me, that covers pretty much any sport. That's for the most part how it happens.
I will agree that what I'm going to say probably fits almost any sport. But when this question is posed, the commonality issue, I had to sit and contemplate, what are the things that the championship teams that I've been affiliated with all had in common, if anything. I was fortunate enough to win championships at the high school level and at every collegiate level that I coached at, some national, some conference. And the three things that absolutely every one of those teams had was a sense of vision, which I agree with Lamar is set by the coaching staffs. A sense of leadership, which is a combination of the coaching staff and the members of the actual team. And then a sense of sacrifice, which speaks to what Lucious was talking about. Every championship team, there are chores to be done that people don't necessarily want to do or may not have envisioned themselves to sign up to do. Every championship team has some version of the elite player or the elite players, but those people can't get it done on their own. It's the smaller players. It's the support players. It's the person that jumps up and gets one extra point that they weren't projected to get, or makes a final knocking someone else out of it. Those are the ways that, championships are ultimately won. And I've seen that at every stop, that I've been affiliated with that's won a championship. So for me, the last one though, the sacrifice, you have to have athletes on your team that are willing to sacrifice for the cause, for each other. And you can have a coach that preaches that, but if the kids don't buy into it for the sense of themselves, if they don't want to go to bat for their teammates, you might score some points, but you ain't gonna win. And, the best teams in the country, track and field, basketball, baseball, whatever, D1, D2, D3, you'll find those three characteristics on all of those teams.
Yeah, I think that the thing that you talk about leadership, the attitude of the athletes, discipline of the athletes, the focus of the athletes, it's a total reflection of the leadership. It's not very common that you're going to find a group of athletes that are very focused and driven, that are led by someone that's not. You talk about the buy-in. The buy-in is huge. I've been known to say a time or two, I'm a hell of a coach when they listen to me, right? They don't listen, they don't buy in, I got no shot, right? I got no shot at all. So I think that the big thing for me when I talk about the buy-in is that we all be on the same page, in the same book, and have the same belief. When we walk into that stadium, we all have to believe that we can accomplish this goal. That's something we have to get to the championships and talk about, because the talking's done. It's time to perform. But I think that that's a big mistake that people make. Also, they talk too much about it. When it gets to the championship, everybody needs to line up and do their job. But Clyde is absolutely right. Leadership is huge. The buy-in is absolutely something you cannot get around, because all it takes is one that doesn't buy in to convince another one or two not to buy in, and then the whole thing just falls apart.
And I'll say at least in our sport, because this is the sport that we have the the most opportunity to witness championships firsthand, right? Like I've only been to so many football games. I've only been to so many basketball games. We're always around for the championships. And every year you got 5 or 6 teams that on paper or in a media print are in the mix for these championships. The team that walks into that building that isn't connected in the way that we're talking about, it's noticeable. It always is. You can feel it in the warm-up area. You can see it when they're walking to the line. The ones that aren't really ready up here, it always shows up at the worst possible moment. And, you know, some coaches figure that stuff out and evolve and get better at it. And some, you always see that kind of trend. So, you know, it's a real thing. And again, it comes from, you know, it has to go through the kids ultimately. They're the ones that get out there and got to perform. We don't win nothing sitting in the stands.
Absolutely not.
And I will definitely say that, you know, in addition to all the things that have been said, when you are trying to assemble, you know, this championship team, don't fall prey to someone's talent. If someone's really talented and the home visit, you don't necessarily like the way he or she is talking to their parents, and then when they come on the visit, your kids come back to you and they're like, "Yo, so and so was wild," or "Yo, none of us get along with her or him or whatever," right? Like, I'm not saying that any one of those things is a deal breaker, but in collection, if in collection, a common sense person would say, I know they're really talented, but if that's the thing, then don't add that to the mix, because that's going to show up under pressure. Like when you need them, they will not be there for you. And so I think that, you know, you gotta, like I said before, these things happen on purpose.
Yeah, they are who they are, and
for sure, and they're showing you who they are.
You know, we've all heard the old adage that practice makes perfect. Well, my thing is practice makes permanent. The way you practice is the way you're going to compete. And I tell mine, the mistakes you make in practice when you're tired because of lack of focus are the mistakes you're going to make at the championship meet, not because you're tired, but because you're hyped. So if we can learn to do things right when we're tired, when we can do things right in practice daily, you're creating championship habits. Championship teams don't just show up at the championship and win because they're more talented than everybody else. That helps, don't get me wrong. But it happens because there was preparation, a lot of preparation involved. And there's a mindset involved, but that mindset comes from purposeful practice is what I like to call it. Very purposeful practice.
I want to throw a curveball, and don't be mad at me for this, Lucious, but I do have to ask this question. And I ask it only because, look, this is for everybody else's betterment, right?
Yes, sir.
None of us on this panel but you have ever legitimately had the best hand, right? And so at the beginning of the year, when in the years where you've known you had the best hand, how has your management or preparation of those teams been different? I think we all get how to be underdogs or overlooked, but there have been a few times, not all of the 9 by any means, but there have been a few times where you just was, if I keep them healthy, we're gonna win.
Right. I think
on paper.
Yeah, on paper. Like I think that the big thing is that you treat them all the same. Like you can't go in with the attitude. Like I've never gone into the meet with, as long as we show up, we're gonna win. As long as we're healthy, we're gonna win. I go into every championship with a chip on my shoulders if we're not the favorite. You know, and that helps us. You know, I challenge every person in my program, every athlete, every coach, every trainer, my DOPS, everybody to be at their very best at that time. You know, and obviously there's no such thing as perfect, but we're striving for perfection at every championship we go to. And in the years when we've just been the overwhelming favorite, I don't put any more pressure on them. I just simply say, we need to show up and do our job. You do that, we're going to be fine. We talk a lot about do the things you did to get here. If you're a 10 flat guy, run 10 flat, you'll be fine. But the problem is if you're the 10 flat guy that tries to run 9-8 and you run 9, then you run 10-1 or 10-2, and then you're mad. Dance with the girl you brought to the dance.
I'm going to add to that because I literally did go through that in 2013 with my women's team at RU. Whether or not the larger populace thought we had the best team, I knew we had the best team. I knew we had the best hand, and I knew it a year in advance. Hell, I put it in print. So
you did.
Coming into that, I'll never forget coming into that meet, both at home before we got on the plane and the day before when we're sitting in the hotel. Everybody remembers the star of that team obviously was Vashti Thomas. And the people that believed that we had a chance to win thought it's all going to run through Vashti. Whatever Vashti does, that's going to decide the fate of the team. And we took 7 girls to that meet. And I sat them down away from Vashti and I said, look, if you get caught up watching the Vashti Thomas show, we're going to lose this meet. You all have a role. You all need to step up and do your jobs. And if you do, we're going to destroy this track meet. And to their credit, every last one of them scored a point. Every last one of them contributed in their own way to that championship. And it's because they all believed in the mission that they were brought there to do. If you're the alternate, it's your job to make sure we get ourselves into this 4x4 final. You know what I mean? Like everybody had a role, even our 1500 meter girl who went from unranked to finish in 3rd place. Like everybody stepped up and did their job. And that's what made that particular experience so fun. It's because they all were in there on that grind together for each other. They were all dialed in. They were all appropriately paying attention when they had time to do so. And it was the little things that contributed to that. Yeah, Vash was amazing. Scored 30-something points. But everybody got a piece of that. And that was what made that special for me.
See, and something you spoke about there is, you didn't use the word, but it's energy.
Oh, yeah.
There's a reason why I like to have a good 4x1 and a good 4x4, because the 4x1 starts the meet and the 4x4 ends it. So if you start and end on a good note, things in the middle usually go pretty well for you. They do.
That's right.
And I think that's the thing. You get that energy going. You get that, wow, the 4x1 just PR'd. I know I'm ready as well. Indoors, you get to kick it off with the 60 or the 60 hurdles. Oh, so-and-so did well. Hey, it's going to be a good meet. The energy, the momentum, that little things like that, create, I go back to when we won in 2016, the kickstart for that was 2 things. One was our hammer thrower finishing 4th or 5th, I believe. And our 4x1 that was supposed to not make the final being the 4th qualifier. Those 2 things happened, and then we just spun along, and it never stopped.
Oh, absolutely. When Jenny made the mile final, everybody was excited.
There you go.
And at an indoor meet, we know the mile is early in the program.
Yes.
He comes back and gets 3rd. I was a freaking basket case. I'm crying, and everybody else is like, "Oh, it's wrap now." Like we know, and everybody fed off of that. It was amazing.
Yeah.
You all have my heart like racing right now. I feel like we're at the hotel getting ready to go be at NC's or something. On the petty side note, I feel like we all should have worn at least 1 ring. Just to do
my rings are trapped in my office on campus. I haven't seen my rings in 6 months.
That sucks. That sucks. But yes, that was a random side. No.
You would have had to have Lucious pick between his children, so
Nah, he got 9 rings and 10 fingers. What you mean? You put them on.
Oh, just would have put them all on? Okay.
Put them all on.
We Saban in it.
There you go. Next time
we gotta make you a
Lucious
lane
on the show with all the rings. At least one good time. We gonna get it done.
One time, all 9.
Okay.
The week of NCs or something like that.
No, that's not happening.
Yeah, that's a jinx. That's a jinx.
No chance.
You better get me the next couple of weeks before the season gets going good, or you better get me after outdoor NCAs, because in the middle of it,
I love it. I love it.
Lordy.
Let's further this championship conversation, and let's talk about the other sports, or the other sport that has a championship going on currently. the college football championships. You know, we now see who's going to be playing next weekend. I'm not even, I want you all to build this conversation because this is definitely a conversation. So I'm just going to lob that one out there and just take it for someone to pick up.
Oh,
Look, go ahead. Please go ahead.
Go ahead. No, because I know you want to be petty, so go ahead and be petty. Go ahead.
I don't even want to be petty. I just want to take my whooping on air and be done with it. Like, look, I picked Clemson to win it all. We got boat raced. It is what it is. Like, I wish Ohio State the very best going forward. I think there's going to be there may be somebody that yells "stop the fight" and throws a white towel in at halftime, because I think it's not going to be close. But look, at the end of the day, I don't get to talk smack about anybody because I picked the Clemson Tigers, and
But wait, hold on. You have to. Who's getting the towel thrown in on? That's what we need to hear.
Alabama is going to win.
Got it.
That is my prediction. I predicted Clemson was going to play Alabama in the championship game, and Clemson was going to win. So since I didn't even pick Ohio State to make the game, certainly not going to pick them to win the game.
Why wouldn't you pick them to win since they beat the team that you thought they was going to win?
Because
it kind of makes sense.
I hear you, except for the fact I saw all teams play on the same day. And
you weren't impressed with Ohio State?
First thought in watching Alabama play was, I don't think anybody can beat them. I thought that before the Clemson-Ohio State game happened. I was like, well, we might be in trouble.
Fair enough.
No love for Ohio State.
Absolutely none.
Listen,
go ahead, Clyde.
Anybody that pays attention a little bit to me and my thoughts about college football knows that at all costs I root for chaos. I root for the most chaotic possible example every single year. So let me be clear for those who have tried to
for a tie.
Oh, no. There are no ties. That's not even possible. Texas A&M didn't belong in there. They didn't get in. Okay. Notre Dame didn't belong in there. Prove that point. Ohio State always should have been in. Cincinnati got screwed. I will not know this year who the best team in Ohio is. I won't know that. I won't find that out. I won't find that out because they didn't get a chance to play.
I want to know, did you take your medication this morning?
However, let me be clear. I am rooting for and I am predicting the most chaotic example, which would be Ohio State upsetting Alabama. 6-0, getting rules changed to make sure they qualify for their championship game.
No.
Both racing Clemson.
That's true.
They
That
did
is
not.
true. That
They
did happen.
didn't change the rules.
I mean, they didn't.
They
Their
got
conference
rules
did.
changed for them.
Okay, so
The
all right,
conference
so
did.
exactly, but they didn't do it. Y'all lead them boys alone.
Hey, listen. I'm rooting for them. I'm Columbus. Go Columbus.
But you're rooting for them, but then you punch them in the gut. You like the dude that hit my man in the side with his helmet.
It's not their fault. It's not their fault their conference started late. It's not their fault their conference changed the rules to help them out. It's not their fault. They just get on the field and play. They dominated Clemson. It was impressive.
Oh
Justin Fields was impressive. Okay. Listen, I'm rooting for the chaos. I want Ohio State to win. I'm predicting Ohio State will win, but they will not win if they don't find a way to put like 3 dudes on the receiver from Alabama.
Yeah.
If you let that dude beat you, do you deserve to lose? Figure it out.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Nobody has found a way to stop Mr. Smith. Nobody. Right.
3 dudes.
So first of all,
3.
Okay, in reference to the rule change that has nothing to do with Ohio State, maybe the Big Ten commissioner is just smarter than everybody else because he knew how good they were, so he wanted to make sure they got in playoff. So let's give that dude credit for that. Right? Look, I'm the Big Ten commissioner, and we like to talk about money on this show. Okay, the Big Ten's gonna get a little money now, right? So that dude wasn't dumb. So I'm gonna send Ohio State. I'm gonna send Northwestern. Buckeyes, let's go. Right? Yeah.
Do what you got to do, man. By any means necessary.
And so the other thing too is I love how everybody, not you guys, but a lot of people are Ohio State didn't play enough games. But these are the same people that were screaming that we shouldn't be playing football because we should be more concerned about COVID. So the Big Ten played less games because they were more concerned about COVID. So either you bash them because they didn't play, now you want to bash them because they were concerned. Like, hey,
I tell you what, if Ohio State wins the national championship, they played chess, not checkers with everybody.
Yes, they did. You know,
Yep.
and at the end of the day, now that's, well, you know, they're fresher than everybody else. No,
That's all garbage.
exactly.
And revisionist history.
So at the end of the day, you know, like when I look at the last week of the football games and stuff, I mean, like the ACC did a horrible job. They didn't show up at all. They weren't very impressive at all. Some of the Cinderellas took a hit. I love how my good friend Clyde doesn't know who the best team in Ohio is, and Ohio State's in the championship, and Cincinnati got beat by Georgia. But they're not. They're possibly the best team in Ohio. Okay, yeah. But like I said, I'm not sure you took your medication this morning, but that's okay too. But I just don't. The Ohio State, if the Justin Fields that showed up for Clemson shows up for Alabama, it's a big time shootout. There will be no white flag at halftime, no white towel at halftime, because maybe I missed something, but they totally took apart a very good football team.
Oh, absolutely.
It dominated them on both sides of the ball. That game wasn't close. It could have been worse. So if that Ohio State team shows up, I'm not sure, but honestly, it's hard for me to pick against Ohio State. I'm an Ohio guy. I'm from Columbus, and I've got some ties to Alabama as well. But I'm not picking a winner on this one.
Boo!
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 Oh, I'm sorry. How do the points of that fence feel sticking you in the butt?
Okay.
You were
All right.
riding the fence right
You
now.
know what? All right, no, that's okay. I'm gonna go with Alabama in a thriller. There you go.
Thank you.
I'll do it. I'll do what's
sir.
right, because
Now,
I don't know. As I said to my man Lamar, who was a big Clemson offensive guy, thinking that they had the best offense in the country. Alabama's offense is there's a whole lot of weapons, and can Ohio State defend everybody? That would be my concern. And Ohio State's got good receiver, unbelievable running back, you know, but do they have other weapons because Saban's going to find a way to take people away. That's the key for me.
Their running back is a grown man, by the way.
Yeah, he's grown twice. That's what he is.
Lucious, here's the answer to your question. I'm glad you took a pick, so I don't have to pick on you. I was wanted to keep picking on Lamar. The problem Lamar's just been on this disrespectful train the last couple of weeks, if you notice. Totally disrespected Adam Nelson. I'm sorry. Joe Kovacs. Joe Kovacs. Totally.
I did not totally disrespect him.
Totally disrespect Joe Kovacs, and now he's waving the white flag at halftime for Ohio State because they did that to Clemson. It's okay. But
yeah, that is kind of disrespectful, Lamar, now that I think about it.
It is. But
okay.
Give the Heisman to Mr. Smith and call it a day. The boy deserves it.
Yeah, like
now that I think we all agree on.
And the scary thing is that people say that the guy that got hurt's better than him. I find that hard to believe. Yeah,
you know,
that's scary, right? But I mean, I just think that it's going to be a phenomenal game. We need to give kudos to Ryan Day and his coaching staff for getting that team ready to perform that way. Because that's not the team we saw 2 weeks ago against Northwestern, and definitely not the team we saw.
They played out of their minds for sure, and you give coaches credit for that.
Exactly. You know, the players played, but what a phenomenal game plan. That was fun to watch. It really was.
Am I mistaken? Did I remember this incorrectly? Did Justin Fields not get injured in the game, and he potentially is going to be playing hurt?
He played hurt.
He hurt his ribs for sure.
He played hurt for more than half a game. Yeah.
Yeah. He got hurt. He got speared before halftime.
Yeah. I mean,
he gonna take a shot or two.
Yeah.
Literally.
He gonna take a shot.
He already did.
No. A shot.
Yeah.
No, he already did.
Yeah.
Trust and believe. Look, before halftime, he was attempting to throw the ball. There were physical facial grimaces. When he came out of the locker room in the second half, he was like, "We good, baby," because he couldn't even feel them ribs.
Yeah.
They gave him
Hey,
the smooth
phenomenal
lidocaine drip or
performance,
whatever. Do what you got to do,
Phenomenal
strap it up, and let's play.
Because the key to them being competitive is getting the running game going, which will open up the passing game. Because Mr. Sermon is a grown man.
Yeah,
All right, now, let's get to the real football conversation.
I know. I was gonna say. So now that I've built up all this excitement and all this hot bubbling blood, let's talk about some NFL playoffs.
Dun, 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 dun,
Right.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and lay this out for y'all. You can try to debate it.
Uh-oh.
Lay it out.
Here we go.
Oh boy, we can try to debate it.
Try to debate
On
it.
this
Let's just
show.
go ahead and lay it out. Way back when the COVID season started, I'm sure we all had our Super Bowl predictions on the show. I honestly don't remember what mine were.
Seattle.
So we're going to ignore that because the playoffs are here. We have evidence now, and based on the evidence, this is what is going to happen.
That's true. On this evidence, okay.
I'm going to start in the AFC, which I consider to be very interesting. Let's get the easy thing out of the way, okay? The first round matchup is the Browns and the Steelers. The Browns barely could beat the Steelers today with Roethlisberger on the sidelines. It's cute, rah-rah. I got family in Cleveland. They made the playoffs. Congratulations. They're one and done. So the Steelers win that game, okay? You're gonna have the Ravens. The Ravens playing who the Ravens playing? The Ravens are gonna play the Titans.
The Titans.
Right? Derrick Henry's way too hot. The Ravens got, a lot of issues. I'm going to take Tennessee to go over Baltimore in that. Okay? You got the Colts going up against the Bills. The Bills are on one. That's going to be a bloodbath. Bills win. Now, for those not familiar with football, the lower seeds advance up, right? So if that scenario plays out, that's going to give you the Chiefs going up against the Titans. I think it'll be competitive, but the Chiefs win. I think the Bills destroy the Steelers, which gives us the Bills and the Chiefs in the championship for the AFC. And I'm telling you, I'm taking the Bills. The Bills upset Mahomes, and they're in the dance. Now, on the NFC side, it could not be more set up. Aaron Rodgers is going to get the MVP. They're the number one seed, blah, 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 Lambeau Field, all of that, right? The Bucks are the number 5 seed. So whenever they destroy whoever the hell comes out of the NFC East madness, which right now is the Giants, if Washington wins the game, it'll be the rest of the football team. The Bucks will dismantle them, and it won't be because the whole narrative was get the Saints in Lambeau, outdoors, cold weather. No. Drew Brees isn't coming to Lambeau. Brady's coming to Lambeau. I will take the GOAT in the cold weather, takes out Green Bay. Seattle beats the Rams. The Saints beat Seattle at home, and we got Bucks versus Saints in the championship game in New Orleans, and there ain't no way Tom Brady's losing 3 times to the same team. Bucks versus Bills in the championship, and I got the GOAT for number 7, and I'm out.
Man, that was cute. That was
and very well crafted, I might add. It was
for sure. Let me use some Berkeley words. You did a great job of pontificating. That was quite pedantic, and I am 100% sure that the resultant of what you just said would be quantified as fuckery. So,
oh my God.
let's go backwards. First off,
yes, sir.
In the aforementioned AFC, the Bills are on one. There is no doubt. Do I think that it's going to be the Bills and the Chiefs? Because I'm not going to deal with all the first round nonsense because it's all whatever, right? I do think it was funny that the Browns fans were going crazy today that they beat a resting Pittsburgh team, right?
Hey,
by 3 points. But you know what? Look, my man is a Browns guy, so like we're good, right? At the end of the day, it'll be interesting next week. How about that? But I don't really.
I agree
care.
with you on that one, though. Yeah,
It's going to be interesting. But I will say this: when it comes when the rubber meets the road, as they say, and the game is in Arrowhead, and it's the Bills. We are so happy to be in the playoffs for the first time since 2002. And
No.
And
They were in the playoffs last year.
Correct, sir. My bad. Twice. It was the Browns that haven't been in the playoffs since 2002. I think when the Bills and the lights are on and the Bills have to play the Chiefs and Mahomes and Ferrari gets it going, it's gonna be a shootout. Because let's be clear, Kansas City's defense is like the Colts defense was when they had Peyton Manning. We just got to keep you under 30. Right? Because at the end of the day, nobody's going to stop us from scoring 35. And I think it's going to be one of those. Definitely bet the over when it comes to that game. In the NFC, look, man, I'm not sure what it takes to convince you. I really don't. And at the end of the day, I'm convinced at some point in time, you being Petty Paul and the king and captain of chaos, you just want to see the world burn sometimes, and I get it. I hope Tom Brady goes to Lambeau. I may get on my knees. I may get on my knees and pray for that. Just so
not going to Lambeau.
Just so it's funny that you say that because the Giants actually almost beat Tampa Bay earlier this year. Anyway, trust me, I'm a Giants homer, so y'all know where that came from. I had to at least slide my G-man in there. For the record, just as a side note, us winning football games is the stupidest thing on the planet. We won today, and if we actually make it into the NFC playoffs, we're going to go from where we could have been picking like 5th to picking like 20th. So I'm not really sure how this makes our football team better. But anyway, when they come to Lambeau and it snows a foot at a time, terrific, and the Tampa Bay Bucks, not happening. Bad man that lives in Curly Lambeau, who's thrown 4 picks this year and like 48 touchdowns or some nonsense. Yeah, I think we're good. And
based on 40.
Beginning that's cute.
It is.
Hey, you know what? 40 touchdowns in warm weather with all the weapons on the planet versus 48 touchdowns or 49 touchdowns with. I challenge you to name 2 other wide receivers on Green Bay besides Devontae.
Vontez Scantlin, whatever the hell his name is.
Don't even know his name.
I can't pronounce his name. Scantlin, the one that drops touchdowns and stuff.
Right. Okay, that's one. What's the other one?
The white boy.
Wow. He's not even playing for them anymore. How about Aquanemius St. Brown? There's one for you, just because I like saying his name. I've been a fan of that dude since he was in high school because his name is Aquanemius. But anyway, look, the NFC has been full of pretenders. At one point in time this year, the Rams were unbeatable, and Jalen Ramsey put whatchamacallit in a box, and like, okay, whatever. The Rams are trash. Seattle, let Russ cook. I can't believe Russ has never gotten an MVP vote. Guess what? He ain't getting one this year either. So at the end of the day, the NFC, they're all going to come to Lambeau, get smacked, and go home. The NFL should just be happy that they don't play these games home and away because the Super Bowl going through Lambeau, you could get him a trophy now. So at the end of the day, it's what I said at the beginning. It's going to be the 2 best quarterbacks in the game with the 2 best teams in the game playing each other for the Super Bowl. And you got the Chiefs and all the weapons versus the baddest man on the planet. And that is going to be a lot of fun. And I'm going to stick with my original pick of the Chiefs in a shootout.
Sir, I need you to state the other team for the record. For the record.
Chiefs and Packers.
Okay, you didn't say that. I need you to say it out loud so it actually means something.
The Chiefs and the Green Bay Packers football team.
Thank you, sir.
You are welcome, ma'am.
I'm not sure how you follow that. That's between Lamar's rant and Clyde. Clyde, I really don't think you took your medication this morning, dude. I'm concerned. I really am.
What I said makes perfect sense if you think about it.
No, it doesn't.
In your home, it does.
Because during Lamar,
what's in his cup? What's in his cup?
Yeah, exactly. During Lamar's explanation of what he thought was going on, I was really trying to picture in my head how you ever thought that was going to happen. I do think that Brady will end up in Lambeau, but then once he's in Lambeau, he will absolutely be there contemplating retirement because he's not beating them in it. So if you pay attention, and I'm not a football guru by any stretch of the imagination, the Saints and the Packers have something in common. They both play very credible defense, and they both have great offenses with great quarterbacks. Unless I'm missing something, the Saints absolutely smacked the Bucs around twice this year, right?
Sir,
but the Saints don't have a running back.
Wait a minute. One, that is correct. That is correct.
Let me finish. Okay,
okay.
We'll come back to you. We'll come back to you.
Go ahead.
So that is why I don't think that Tampa Bay, other than the fact that it's warm weather going to cold weather, the Packers are a really good team. And in my opinion, they have the best player in the league on said team who does not get flustered. So regardless of who's in the playoffs, but the championship is going through Lambeau Field, and no, the Packers are going to go to the Super Bowl. I kind of have the same feeling on the other side of the coin when it comes to Kansas City. I don't know, other than Aaron Rodgers, that I've ever seen anybody with ice water in their veins like my man Mahomes. Like it's crazy, right? And then it's going there and playing at Mile High. The air's a little different. It's kind of like dancing in the bay, right? It's a little different, right? So to get to said championship, you've got to go through two very special places against two very special players. So I'm gonna go with Green Bay versus Kansas City, and I'm going with my man Aaron Rodgers. I just think he's that dude.
All right. Listen, first of all, Lucious, you are correct. In the first game of the season, and then in a subsequent game in the middle of the season, the Saints absolutely beat down the Bucs. That is true. Mm-hmm. What is also true is that Tom Brady utterly thrashed Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers worse than anything the Saints did to them in the middle of the season. That is a fact. Now, you brought up the defenses of the Packers and the Saints. You somehow forget that Tampa Bay has a better defense than both of them. Look it up.
I'm not sure how that's relevant when the Saints curb stomped them twice. So clearly the defense didn't show up that day.
Hey, listen, the Saints are a bad matchup for the Bucs. I understand that. There is no reality. The only thing that is stopping Tom Brady from going to Lambeau is the NFC East champions. I'm sorry. The way the playoffs are structured, they are the number 5 seed.
Well, no, nobody's debating whether they're going to. They're going to Lambeau. Everybody agrees with that. Yeah.
Okay.
I agree with that too. For sure.
And here's the other thing, and I'm sorry, it's just the fact. The mystique of the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field has never been relevant in the Aaron Rodgers era. Never. And Tom Brady has played in that weather in the playoffs for 20 years.
Tom Brady.
That's right.
One man.
I bet on
what about the rest of the team?
But wait a minute. Brady's team is more talented than Green Bay's team.
We'll see.
Whoa.
We'll see.
Offensively.
See, hold on a second. Hold on a second. May I push the pause button for just 1 second? All right. Just 1 second, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
To start this show, we talked about the elements of a championship team.
Yes.
One of the things that we talked a lot about was coaching leadership.
Yes. Matt LaFleur has proven nothing about
and the guy at Tampa Bay has?
No. Well, Bruce Arians has. Wait a minute. Bruce Arians has taken a team to the Super Bowl. Yes,
but we're talking about the leadership of the coaches, leadership of just the players as a whole, not just the quarterback. There's more experience in the locker room in Lambeau than there is in the one in Tampa Bay. See, there's more of a championship attitude. There's more championship experience. And whether you think the mystique of Lambeau is relevant or not, they're still on the road. It's still freezing cold. We'll see. It'll be interesting.
But wait a minute. I'm really confused about this. You say there's more championship, whatever the word was, in Green Bay. Who other than Aaron Rodgers on that team is responsible for that? The coach is basically a rookie head coach. No players on that team have ever won anything.
Well, I'm just talking about playoff experience as a whole because
Why?
Tampa Bay. Okay, maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see.
I mean, just the New England imports that are on Tampa Bay got more championship experience than the whole of the Green Bay Packers combined.
Well, the problem is with the New England imports are missing the guy that stirs the drink.
Listen. I 100% admit my worry about Tampa Bay pulling this off is Bruce Arians. 100%. But here's the thing:
very worried.
over the last month, it seems on some kind of level that BA started listening to Brady more than he wanted to listen to himself, and the offense is rolling. It looks a lot like the offense Brady wants to run. And in the playoffs, I'm hoping BA is smart enough to be like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna get credit anyway. Go do what you do, and let's get this done. I have no faith.
It would be interesting to watch.
I think this is awesome that all three of us picked three different quarterbacks to win. I think that's tremendous.
That's right.
And I don't know how you don't have faith in Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in the league. It's not even close.
He's right now. I give him that distinction.
I love Aaron Rodgers, but can't say it's not even close.
Well, it's definitely close. There's some candidates,
but I don't think it's that closer to him and Brady. Let's put it that way.
Listen, Brady's 43 years old and he's still a top 5 quarterback in this game.
Yeah, but he's not as good as Aaron Rodgers.
It ain't that far of a difference.
He's not as good.
All right. So I'm much more worried about.
If I run 9-9 and you run 10-05, it's not that far of a difference, but he's still better, right?
Green Bay will be one and done. One and done.
Oh, please write that down, Chew. Put pins.
Look, you don't have to write that down. You don't have to put a pin in it. You don't have to rewind that tape. We're not forgetting that nonsense.
But Huff, for my prediction to come true, they have to be. They're the number 1 seed. They get a bye this week. Next week. They're not playing.
No. We definitely understand what you're saying.
So Brady wins. He goes to Green Bay. He knocks out Rodgers. One and done.
I understand exactly what you're saying. In 2 weeks from now, we'll find out.
So here's the whole thing to this. This could have a little bit of a Clemson Ohio State twist to it, and I'll just leave it at that. But not with Rodgers, with Brady.
Rodgers. Hey, just remember this right here.
Yeah.
He doesn't have too many of those though.
We discount double checking.
He got but one belt. He got but one.
We discount double checking.
And when Brady moved to Tampa, he got reduced to 0 because he has none in Tampa.
All right.
This will be drink worthy for sure.
Oh my goodness.
It's going to be an interesting show after that weekend. That's for sure.
Dude, I think if the Packers win, Lucious might show up with a drink. Have a little bottle of champagne with his pinky out.
And let me be clear. Listen, I really like Patrick Mahomes. I like Patrick Mahomes. I like Andy Reid. I'm a fan. There's just, we've all seen teams that are hot at the right moment, and the Bills right now, bruh. The Bills are on one right now.
Yeah.
Well, we got 6 weeks to figure, they have 6 weeks to figure all of that out, and let's see how this trickles down. But we will be here for the noise. That's for sure.
That is for sure.
And I won't lose the notebook this time. I'll put it straight into the computer this time.
I'll tell you, you don't have to worry about it. This was not being forgotten. I can promise you that. One and done for Rodgers.
Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, goodness gracious. So we're going to go ahead and let that championship talk end right there, because I think that's a great note to end on. And to round out the championship environment we've put, Clyde, you are on the hot seat.
I've been on the hot seat all show. I'm ready. Let's go.
Right? So let's win the show then. Let's win the show. All right, sir. Little woo-saw motion for you?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Man.
All right. It's okay. It's okay.
Medication.
All right. We'll start off with the scrumptious one. Dunkin' or Krispy Kreme?
None of that. old-fashioned plain cake donuts from the corner shop in the hood.
True story. Okay, then, so you said it already, but I have to ask, cake or yeast donut?
I don't even know what yeast donut means, so cake.
I love it. That's so funny. So I didn't learn it until I left California. So like
Oh
cake
my
is the
God.
devil's food, and then you have the ones that are deep fried. Like usually they're glazed, they're fluffier.
Yes, and they're tremendous.
They're both really, I mean, it's a donut. Did you say anything? Anyways, okay, sorry. And back to hot seat. Sorry. No, I
We're
literally
off the
just
rails.
left
We're off the
California.
rails.
I know. Crazy right now. All right. Finish this sentence. If you aren't coaching, you are
Modeling.
Watching the news.
Ooh, got it. Got it. You're so salty. He just called you a model. Anyways. Um,
You know,
Giants or the A's?
Giants.
Love it. Your favorite meet as a coach?
Ooh. The regular season, or is that
Regular
that's
season.
what-
Regular season.
Oh, high school level Arcadia Invitational by far, ain't even close. Collegiately, honestly, Florida Relays. I've always had the most fun and witnessed the most incredible things at Florida Relays. It would never be Penn, it would never be Drake, and it can't be Texas.
Got it. Love it.
Ooh.
At
Florida Relays,
practice.
baby.
At practice, are you using a stopwatch or your phone?
Both depending on depending on how forgetful I am on the day.
Love it. Do you have the meet program in your hand or on your phone?
In my back pocket.
Back
Love
pocket,
it.
absolutely.
I mean, these young bucks these days just pulling up QR codes on their phone.
You know what?
Anyhow.
They can QR themselves on.
I'm sorry, but I have it on my phone. So there.
Yeah, but you didn't put it
Ooh.
there. You ain't put it there.
Exactly.
Somebody put it there for you.
Exactly.
Oh no, like somebody showed me how, but I did it myself.
And the folded up program don't do him any good anymore because he can't see that well. So
Oh, ow.
Man.
Ow.
Lord.
Ow.
clearly that was a joke because I think I have the worst eyesight on
I was
this.
getting ready to say, like you're the blind one of this crew, and you're throwing shots at me.
There's no question about it.
See, I
Blind.
don't care when I apologize because Clyde is clearly on the hot seat, but I don't carry it because I'm gonna lose it. That's why I don't carry it. I'm not gonna lose my phone. But if you put something in my pocket, it's gonna get lost. So.
Oh, listen. The meet program starts off in the back pocket. It never makes it to the end of the meet, for sure. And listen, we all appreciate the irony of the blind baseball scout. We get it. We understand. we understand.
Oh, okay. Shots fired. That was a good one.
Oh, okay. I got two more. Rounding it
Thank
out.
you for having my back on that, Clyde. I appreciate
That was funny. That was
Well
funny.
played. Well played.
Smash or pass? Oysters.
Pass. Hard pass. Hard
Boy,
pass.
you don't know what you're missing.
All right. Last but not least, is it called Six Flags or Great America?
Great America. There is only one Great America. There are many Six Flags. It's Great America.
Love it, love it, love it. So you have successfully made your way off the hot seat. So that was a good one this week. I came back. I redeemed
There you go.
myself.
Great job, big league.
Woo.
LLC is back.
I know. I spent 3 days off of Zoom and now I'm alive again. It's the longest time off of Zoom.
I think you're still shook from you being on the hot seat yourself. Is what
I mean, that had I was still shaking in my Berks. So good catch.
We caught that. We caught that.
All right. So in lieu of our heartbeat props, we are going to do a little bit of reflection, and we want to reflect on what was 2020. There are a lot of things to be said for it. There are a lot of things not to be said for it. But what did 2020 mean for us? Who would like to start?
I'll start. I mean, since I think y'all are going to make me go first anyway, so I'll go first. I think when I reflect on 2020, I've thought a lot about this over the last couple of weeks, to be honest. And what I've tried to do is, find the focus on the good things that happened in 2020. Yes, the pandemic was a horrific and continues to be a horrific situation for everybody. But through the pandemic, I know for me personally, I've got closer to some people in my family. I reconnected with friends I hadn't talked to in a long time. A lot of the alumni from the program have reached out, and I've had greater connections with them. It gave me time to be closer to my family. So what I've decided to do is focus on the good things that happen. The bad is what it is. I'm not going to carry that baggage forward with me. I'm happy to bid 2020 adieu, but there were some good things. When I look back on 2020, as bad as some of the things was, it wasn't a horrific thing for me and my family. We got better. We found a way to do some phenomenal things in our lives as well. Ironically, quite a few new Gator alumni children born. That's an inside joke about the pandemic, probably. But, at the end of the day, as bad as things were in 2020, the Holloway clan found a way to get better. And I just hope that everybody out there will take a few moments, step away from the negative that was 2020, and see that there were some good things that did happen, and hold on to those things and take those things forward with you into 2021, and understand that just because it's 2021, the pandemic is not over. It's still going on. We're just praying that it will get better as we move forward. So in a year from now, when we're having this conversation about 2021, we can talk about how much better it was than 2020.
I'll say this. The world always comes out as a coin, and there's two sides, and they are always equal. And it's funny because 2020 was almost horrific. I don't know that I'll ever get over talking to the officer who was doing the wellness check on my mom, talking to him on the phone, and coming to the very harsh reality that almost certainly my mom had COVID. She was going to the hospital, and there was a legitimate chance that I was never going to see her again. And that, I will tell you, is palpable. And I'm not trying to make folks cry, but at the end of the day, I would not wish that feeling on anyone. But also in 2020, and I can't make this up. At one point in time, I had to mute myself when people would ask me how I'm doing, and I found myself soft selling it, saying things are going pretty good. But at the end of the day, we're in 2021, so I'm gonna be a truth teller. In 2020, I helped found a business, and I got 3 new jobs. I got closer to my entire family. I probably talked to the people on this panel. These are 3 of my closest friends. I am 100% sure that I actually talked to on the phone or on a Zoom, not including the show, no less than twice as often as I ever have before. And mind you, Lucious and I have been friends for more than 20 years. But every day, we were each other's accountability partners. We get out and walk, one in Gainesville, one in Indiana, and we would talk. And that made the hour and a half walk go by real fast. And so I'll just say, to echo Lucious's point, like, look, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. 2020 was horrible. We're all happy to see it go, but understand this. There were some good things that happened in 2020. And if you didn't take the opportunity to get closer to your family in 2020, I'm gonna be honest with you, shame on you. Because you were forced to be around your loved ones. You were forced to be inside. And that's if that was your reality. I understand some people were forced to be away from their loved ones, and I do get that. But if you were given the opportunity to be closer to your loved ones and you didn't take the advantageous nature of that, shame on you, because you missed an opportunity that, God willing, you'll never get again. And so I look back and reflect on 2020 as a huge year of growth. And I'll just say, like, the actual definition that life's advancements are not linear, right? Like, if someone told me, like, in order to have a prosperous year, you're going to have to almost lose your mom, like, man, I don't know that I would have said yes to that. But let's just be clear. My mom and I are good, but we're way better now than we were before, because I did almost lose her. And I'm not trying to be overly dramatic. I just have to be honest. Like, if I reflect on 2020, it's all, the first thing that's going to come to my mind is always going to be, I almost lost my mom. And the next thing that's going to come to mind is like, man, I really spent a lot of time with people I love. And at the end of the day, I'm not going to focus on the bad, right? I'm going to focus on all of the really, really positive things that have come out of 2020. This show notwithstanding. Like, obviously, this show is a very, very positive thing that happened from the COVID year. So I guess for me, the reflection is just that, right? Is that you got to take the heads with the tails.
Chu, would you like to go, or would you like me to go?
Go ahead.
The word, I tried to contemplate this question in one word. Now, I often get accused of being the doom and gloom guy. So let me take, a second to acknowledge, that 2020 has most definitely been a year of what has felt like unnecessary and undue pain to hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people, from the deaths to the economic realities and all of those things. And I would feel remiss not to mention that. However, the word for me that defines 2020 is resiliency at every level. A global pandemic, we've seen amazing innovation in the science world born out of resiliency. We've seen unbelievable, examples of leadership across the globe born out of resiliency. These untimely and inhumane deaths had a bigger microscope placed on them because everybody had an opportunity to slow down and really look. And therefore, it feels like we, may have made some significant and necessary steps on racial justice awareness and so many other things in this country. I see resiliency from my colleagues all across the country, from athletes all across the country, in my own home, in my own family. And, with whatever angle you want to take, on whatever subject you want to look into, people have been presented with unbelievable challenges in 2020. And for the most part, the evidence would suggest that we've answered the bell across the board, be it athletes protesting on courts or the record coast to coast turnout of an election. Everybody in 2020 that was able to found a way to answer the bell. And so for me, the spirit of humanity, whatever it is you want to classify it as, I've been largely impressed with the resiliency that I see up close and personal every day and across our country and across the world as a whole. So when I look back and remember 2020, yes, I'm definitely going to hold space for the people that I knew personally that are no longer with us and their families. And I'm going to hold space for, compassion for the people who I don't know that are no longer with us. But at the end of the day, I will remember 2020 as a very resilient year where human beings showed what they are capable of and paid attention to things that they needed to pay attention to. And in a lot of aspects, we have pulled ourselves away from cliffs that we were headed to. And I'm proud of that.
In reflecting on 2020, minus the things that were shoved in our faces, the social climate, the health status, things of that nature. Otherwise, I can't help but say, to an extent, I'm proud of the human race for everyone's back was against the wall and everyone took action. It might not have been action that I agreed with, but everyone, for the most part, stood for something. And I don't know that the human race has stood for something very recently, whether I agreed with it or not. At least they took a stance. So I know where you stand. I'm either going to stand with you or against you, or maybe just put the blinder on and just not care about you. That's not how I roll, but that's how some people roll. So I'll say, similar to Clyde, for those who have moved on from us and who were taken by the pandemic or for other reasons due to the social status. I'm going to say that. I don't want to start putting things out there. We pray for you. We pray for your families. We're here for you, and we are fighting for you still. I think that's a statement that can be said. We are still fighting for you, whether we're trying to fight for a cure, for a vaccine, these things are all happening. So we're all here trying to persevere for you. But when I reflect personally, almost everybody knows for the most part, this was a year of growth personally for me. And I was made to do something that I tell the student athletes that I work with to do. You have to be uncomfortable so that you're growing, and you have to acknowledge it. You have to embrace it and let it happen. You can't stammer your own growth. And that was something that I was able to allow happen and help facilitate with others as well. So, as much negativity there was, and I'm not dimming, or I guess you can't dim negativity, I'm not overlooking it. I think that we took that and we made some things even better, and we highlighted some more things so that all of it can still continue to go upwards. And we can all bring it and not give it resolution, but give it a better status, or hopefully help situations to start going in a better direction, if for lack of a better way to say it. So I just said a whole lot of something and a whole lot of nothing all at the same time. But for what 2020 served us on the platter, 2021 we will make better, bigger, better, and better. Bigger, better, and better, yes. So
I want to co-sign on something, or maybe I'll add something to this. Mm-hmm. You didn't mention this, so I'm going to mention it for you. What you did was starting the Coaches Collab. Absolutely phenomenal to do that, period, but to do it in the middle of a pandemic and get people to come together, share thoughts, share ideas. Big league, that was big league. That's just the only way I can put that. Phenomenal job. And we are, we're a little biased on these tiles. Yes, we are. But all bias aside, absolutely incredible job. And we are so proud of you for what you did.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that. And I'll say this, during this and having the Coaches Collab be created and being a part of these tiles, it's taught me another thing. I have to learn to say thank you and take the words of others and not dummy them down or water them down as, oh, they're just being nice. Like, after a lot of people say things, there's got to be truth behind it, right? So, after receiving a few awards and whatnot, like I do sit in this chair and I do take everybody's recognition and I say thank you, and I say I'm doing something. I'm doing something, and I love it. I love it all. So thank you very much.
We basically have a track and field version of the Emmy winner, Big League Chew. So absolutely. I'm just going to refer to Chew as the Emmy winner from time to time and know what that's about. There it is.
Absolutely.
Emmy award winning,
right?
Big League Chew.
There's supposed to be another one coming soon. I don't know.
When Lucious wears, there you go. So when Lucious wears the 9 rings, you bring out all the trophies, and we good.
Right. I love it. Well, thank you. I appreciate it, and I appreciate your presence and your guys' acknowledgement, because that above and beyond, not all else, but it's up there. That recognition really holds true for me, and I hold it near and dear to my heart. So I appreciate you. So
appreciate you too.
Wow, this show just went to Kentucky.
Now, Chew, as the Emmy Award winner, take us out of here before it goes left.
I know, because here we go. Because here it's coming. It's coming.
Secure the bag is about to start acting up. So,
all right. Well, as always, it's always a good time with you all, and thank you everyone for joining us for another fun episode. We're going to keep on ticking because they're all we can do. That is all we can do. So have a great week ahead of you, and we'll see you all again soon. Good night,
Happy
guys.
New Year.
When the lights come on, the roads get to running. When the mics come on, opponents mess the plumbing. Heard you like it warm, hot knife the butter. Truth hit them hard, knock them off that rebuttal. Tsunami, tidal wave to your puddle. Tough love punch you in the arms, little brothers. Athletics LLC, there's no others. Track and field's place to appeal to go further. Hey, Wile E. Coyote, it's road runners. Feels like you know us, you've been with us the whole summer. If not for this quarantine, these four corners wouldn't be here, but we here, so start learning. You gotta earn your stripes, gotta get your scars. Show you how to fight, but show us who you are. You lack experience, but still you wanna talk. And who is actually talking to you? Circle's kinda small. Heads prevail when the backbone's strong. Gotta keep it coming, no, it won't last long. Pass or fail, then sell the sad song. And if you don't check yourself, then that's wrong. Just trying to give you the real that you asked for. So why you keep cutting us off to ask more? We put it in slow-mo, but you fast forward. Athletics LLC, the task force.